Chinna Park or something, Niranjan, and then going to the Brigade Parade Ground. Brigade Parade Ground has a history of its own. The most famous landmark of Kolkata, yes, and the Maidan. It has the history of its own, and Suvendu Adhikari going to be taking oath. I think BJP is going to make a pageant of it because it's a big thing for them. Remember, Bengal in many ways is the place which has been the ideological fount of its leaders, from Shama Prasad Mukherjee to the fact that this is 150th year of Vande Mataram and Bankim Chand Chatterjee came from Bengal. The fact that Prime Minister's personal inspiration in Swami Vivekananda and the connections with Ramakrishna Mission and the Belur Math, Prime Minister during the campaign found time to visit Belur Math. I think this is going to be a very big moment for the BJP cadres of Bengal and the rest of the country also, as Ratan Sharda was mentioning a while back. We are okay, and Chandra Babu Naidu. So essentially the NDA show of his strength, apart from BJP leaders and the brass. And we are also showing you on the side the chief ministers who would be arriving. Many of them have already arrived. In fact, they must be there now because 10 o'clock is what the time that the event starts. 11 o'clock is the oath-taking ceremony. And we have guests with us. Do we have more breakings? Do we have? Was there some bomb?
Yeah, there were pictures of a crude bomb that was found in Nandigram. Those pictures came in a short while back, and we'll put out those pictures. In fact, there was a still picture that came in of a live bomb found in Kajuri village in Nandigram, found under a tree. It was placed in a plastic bucket, a bucket bomb. Police were at the scene. The bomb was kept in a bucket. Those were pictures that came in from Nandigram a short while back. And we've seen a lot of this happen in the last few days, especially after the elections, because one of the playbooks of the Trinamool Congress has been to terrorize people and try to make it seem like it was BJP violence. And they got caught doing it as well. That's the picture. That's the bucket, a brown bucket that was placed, and a live bomb was found inside it in Nandigram. So that's another breaking news input that came in. So if we have Ratan Sharda, Prafulla Ketkar and Chandrachur Ghosh, we can go back to them. Prafulla Ketkar, you know, one aspect, Abhishek, I need to tell you that, when violence took place in Sandeshkhali 2 days back, when the goons of Sheikh Shah Jahan unleashed violence 2 days back, one of the things that the MLA there, Rekha Patra is the survivor of Sandeshkhali. She said, enough is enough. Now give me a free hand. I'm going to go in and I'm going to clean these guys up. I mean, that is the kind of mood of the people.
Yeah.
She's saying, give me the chance. I will go and clean them up. And there's a lot of cleaning to do. Where do you start, Prafulla Ketkar? Where do you start? Because when you talk about rebuilding Bengal, remaking Bengal, you got to first clean the rot.
Absolutely. No, and the first, step for that is, what BJP did. That TMC people cannot declare themselves, suddenly turning into BJP. So BJP making it official that nobody individually can declare themselves as BJP Karyakarta. That is a very, very important step. But I think we have seen, Niranjan, in states like Uttar Pradesh, where, the law, if is allowed and the police machinery is given a confidence that you can take a stand and you can take an action against the people, the goons, the mafias, then I think it is possible. So BJP will have to have a, threefold strategy. On the one hand, as Home Minister Amit Shah said yesterday, because it is not just about the local mafia, the kind of support they get from across the border. We have seen, Niranjan, what happened in Kaliachak in 2017, where entire police station was burned. The entire record was... So it is the local population, even in Sandeshkhali, when police went to arrest Shahjahan, what happened there? They create an atmosphere as if, the local people are with him, and then it is actually the gang that is supported from across the border. So that is going to be the one challenge, I think, on security front, that is going to be the key. Two, there are clubs. There are clubs, football, carom, Durga Puja Pandal, and through that they run the extortion racket. Now, there I think the youth will have to be engaged. There the hard hand will not work. You will have to constructively channelize their energy with various government programs, and giving them positive employment opportunities, because they are not goons in a sense, but they work for somebody, and to run their small clubs, they have to be dependent on them. So that is the second important thing. But when it comes to the mafia, the local goons who are running, and there are multiple Shahjahs in Bengal. There, I think BJP will have to give a free hand to the police machinery. Police machinery has to be rehauled. The first step, I think, Prime Minister talked about Atmanirbhar, Ayushman Bharat scheme. That will be the first thing that will be taken care of. But after that, I think the first decision that BJP will take about having a right person in the form of state police chief and the entire overall of the machinery, I think there will begin the real change to control this mafia and syndicate Raj.
Are you expecting that there would be, because as of now we are hearing that Suvendu along with just 4 or 5 ministers is taking oath, but ultimately you would have, say, the model that the BJP follows in other states, having 2 deputy chief ministers also to assist Suvendu Adhikari?
I also got the similar kind of, feelers, but as of now, BJP is not talking about the deputy chief ministership, but what I feel is there will be more, thought about the kind of representation that has to be given. Because North Bengal is one area, the Chai Bagans, the Siliguri area, there the BJP has performed very well. The people from there have stayed rock behind.
Please hold on to your thoughts. R.N. Ravi there in the pictures we had. He was paying respects to Rabindranath Tagore. It's his birth anniversary today. And I think BJP also making a point of sorts there with this connect with the Bengali culture. Their government, the first government in Bengal, is going to take oath on the birth anniversary of Rabindranath Tagore. Remember, it had become an election campaign issue on the pronunciation of Rabindranath Tagore. The Bengalis prefer to call him Tagore, originally Thakur. And in Hindi, I think they still call him Rabindranath Tagore, but in English it becomes Tagore, and that's sort of stuck. And it was ironic that some of the people who were masquerading as the leaders of or the protectors of Bengali identity were more comfortable with Tagore than Thakur. R.N. Ravi, the governor of Bengal there, these are the pictures coming in just from a while earlier. Along with his family, paying respects to the literary giant. In fact, just a couple of days back, we had the Nobel Committee, put out the entire Jana Gana Mana 3 stanzas. Ratan Sharda, just a couple of days back, we had the union government making Vande Mataram at par with Jana Gana Mana in terms of bringing it in the ambit of the disrespect to the National Emblems Act. And so you cannot not stand when Vande Mataram is playing. You cannot show disrespect to Vande Mataram. And the fact that the Nobel Committee released the entire 3 paras of Jana Gana Mana, which makes us realize that it was an ode to Krishna, Lord Krishna, and not to George Pancham as it was projected by some leftists, I believe.
See, the problem with us is that we want to be Hindu, but we want a castrated Hindu. We want a Hindu who has lost his identity, who has lost his historical memory. So you have to curtail Jana Gana Mana, you have to curtail Vande Mataram. This very thought led to the creation of Pakistan. If you go back to history, this demand was the precursor to demand for Pakistan, and we bent and see what happened. So if the patriotism cannot be conditional, your devotion to motherland cannot be conditional. motherland or Bharat stands above everything else. And when you talk of Rabindranath Thakur, of course, he was also created in some sort of humanitarian international person, but he has written some wonderful essays like Swadeshi and all, those Swadeshi Samaj and various other essays, very clearly establishes the cultural moorings of Bharat, where he talks of Swadeshi Samaj, he talks of Hindu identity. And it is a significant day that we are this oath taking ceremony is happening on his birthday. We were talking of the lawlessness also. I would like just to add that Punjab was in the worst condition when KPS Gill took over. Police was totally demoralized. Their houses were attacked. Their people were killed. They were kidnapped. It was much more worse than what we see in Bengal today. One leader, KPS Gill, one chief minister, Beant Singh, together they changed the face of Punjab. Same police became a lion, and the police crushed the separatist movement. Beant Singh ji paid a price. There's somebody we had to pay a price for what folly we had gone for. But it was unfortunate, very unfortunate. But that is how Punjab changed. In UP, which was known for its lawlessness, known for its gangland, known for its mafia, counterfeit currency, whatnot, all that was crushed over a period of few months when police was empowered. All you need is go by law. Give police full power and protect them. Yogi ji clearly, it seems that he had given them full assurance that if anybody comes up a case against you, anybody tries to bamboozle you, I am standing behind you. I stand behind you even in the court of law. So when you give this kind of support to the police, things will change. These are petty criminals. These are criminals who are parasites on the society. To give them the honor that they are jobless and they are poor people, yes, they need employment opportunities, but every unemployed person doesn't become a goon on the road who collects tolls on the road, who collects various kind of hafta. I think strict law and order is the first thing. Naxal movement is supposed to be a movement which was supposed to be against injustice, exploitation, but it turned out ultimately it was a fight for power. It was a fight for violent takeover of the state. It did not do anybody any good. They stopped development. How did how did Bengal sink? It sank because of Naxal movement, then followed by communist movement, then followed by TMC, who did not want development, because how do you control people if they have better money, if they have better situation, prospect, they move away from you. So this Congress philosophy and communist philosophy would keep people poor and keep them in a hold is what is happening in Bengal, and Bengal must rise above that, and it will take. That will be much more difficult for Bengal to rise industrially. Commercially, it will take much more time.
Chandrachud, just quick question from Chandrachud. We were talking about the connect with Bengal as Abhishek has just started talking about. Now, Suvendu Adhikari, there was a lot of, Trinamool was talking about Bengali Ashmita. We was talking about, there will be a Bohiragoto leaders in Bengal. But with Suvendu Adhikari, Mr. Ghosh, you feel that they are trying to counter. He's a street fighter. He's one who has experience, administrative experience also when he was in the TMC. And also the fact that how BJP has been, including the Prime Minister, trying to be, carve out an endearing figure with, Bengali culture from Jhalmuri to even March Bhat. You have Anurag Thakur also having, fish with Chandan Tilak on his forehead. So there has been a lot of connect with the Bengali culture, with all the leaders of the BJP coming together. You feel that Suvendu Adhikari is the one who will actually carry that forward and give that counter to the TMC?
Absolutely, there is no doubt about it. Suvendu Adhikari is somebody who has risen from the ranks, who has toured the whole state, particularly during the past 5 years. He has stood beside the ordinary people, the BJP party workers, and stood like a rock beside them, giving them shelter, giving them assurance. But that apart, this whole thing of the BJP leadership endearing themselves to the Bengalis by adopting Bengali culture, there is no pretension in it. It is very natural. It's a very organic link, and it had to be done in that way because of the misinformation campaign, the distorted campaign that was run by the Trinamool government that BJP is anti-Bengali and Bohiragato. They are outsiders. They don't belong to Bengal's culture. Where that was the whole distortion of Bengal's history. In this regard, I would like to point to one fact, which is Trinamool always claimed that they had the right over Rabindranath Tagore. But today, on Pochise Boishakh, the birthday of Tagore, I would like to remind everybody, all your audience, that a message, a very clear-cut message was given by Tagore on the occasion of the foundation stone laying of the Mahajati Sadan, the iconic building in Kolkata, where he was invited by Subhash Chandra Bose and he gave a speech there. And the theme of the speech was that Bengal should remain linked, connected with the united nationalism of India and should never fall prey to egotistic selfishness and false pride. It should never try to pull away from India. And Trinamool was doing exactly that. It was posturing, it was posing itself as a force, as a political force, which was almost fighting against India. So it was, they had developed the narrative. It was like Bengal versus India, Delhi versus Bengal. So that was a devastating thing that was happening in the psyche of the people. But one more thing I would like to come back to is the law and order question. You see, one of the first things that the BJP government will have to do to stop Sandesh Khali kind of incidences and even local the mafia rackets that have operated is to completely revamp the police bureaucracy, which had been made subservient by the Trinamool party, by party cadres. They were demoralized. Many of them almost became like party members,
we will continue the conversation. We will continue the conversation. I have to take a very short break, but we will come back with live updates from the ground as well with our panel of guests. Viewers, we slip into a very, very short break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
प्योर सूजी पास्ता उबालो मिलाओ और खाओ
8 मिनट में तैयार
क्या टेस्ट है सबका राजा हार्डकोर मसाला
का ये जश्न है जश्न का ये जश्न है राष्ट्रीय इलायची जश्न का जश्न
चमकी चाट से क्या बना है
सैंडविच लस्सी और छाछ
हर कूट में चमकी चाट ड्राई फ्रूट और दही बड़े चमकी चाट से स्वाद बढ़े
असली स्वाद सिर्फ चमकी चाट
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद यही तो है इसकी खास बात वाओ मामा क्या स्वाद है अरे मेरी राजा
राजा हार्डकोर मसाला
और शाही पनीर मसाला, डिलीशियस, हेल्दी, एवरीडे।
रानी, इस घर में कुछ है जो टूटता नहीं।
ये पिलर कभी नहीं टूटेगा। रुंगटा स्टील टीएमटी से बना।
रुंगटा नहीं तो घर स्ट्रॉन्ग नहीं। रुंगटा स्टील टीएमटी बार एकदम सॉलिड। चमकी चाट से क्या बना है? आलू चाट या फ्रूट चाट, स्वाद बढ़ाए चमकी चाट।
क्या बात है? स्वादिष्ट पकोड़े और फरसान, अरे चमकी चाट है इसकी जान।
असली स्वाद सिर्फ चंकी चाट।
केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे, दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे। केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ। हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी।
आर प्योर सूजी पास्ता, उबालो मिलाओ और खाओ,
8 मिनट में तैयार।
क्या टेस्ट है सबका राजा आर प्योर मसाला।
Approximately 3:30 this afternoon, our plainclothes officers and agents that consistently patrol the outer perimeter of the White House complex identified a suspicious individual that appeared to have a firearm. They called in support from our marked uniformed Secret Service police to make contact with that individual. Upon making contact, that individual fled briefly on foot, withdrew a firearm, and fired in the direction of our agents and officers. They returned fire and engaged. That individual was hit. He's since been transported to the hospital. I have no comments on his condition. I can tell you that at least one, we believe only one bystander was hit by the suspect. That individual is a juvenile, did not sustain any life-threatening injuries, but he's also receiving treatment at the hospital. I'll point out that not long before this shooting occurred, the vice.
All right, we are getting these pictures of Prime Minister arriving in Kolkata with his special aircraft, and very soon he would be at the Brigade Parade Ground where the oath-taking ceremony of the first BJP government of Bengal is going to take place. Suvendu Adhikari to be the Chief Minister, taking oath as Chief Minister along with 5 other ministers. Other pictures coming in. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh arrived. It's going to be turning out to be a veritable show of his strength. 21. Suvendu is going to be 22nd, of course. So a couple of hours before that happens, an hour at least. And
then they'll all go together to Assam. Then 22 will go to Assam.
Yes, but it's not today, right?
No.
Yeah. So they did not have enough numbers to get Chennai, right?
Not yet. You never know, actually.
Yeah.
Anything could happen.
Yeah, and can we go to Chennai and look at
we had
what's
some
happening
breaking
there?
news coming in because it's complete.
The suspense thriller that it's turning out to be, I think, Jananayagan.
It's like the 300 crore movies that Vijay used to dish out.
Yeah.
It's just that he's acting once. He's the actor once again, the main actor once again. Except the villains this time are both Stalin and EPS, trying to sort of snatch that.
And he can't have a fight sequence with them.
He can't. It's going to be extremely interesting what happens there. But I think we should stay on Bengal for a bit, Abhishek.
Yeah.
Given that the Prime Minister has landed and all the fanboy channels, and I want to tell you something about the fanboy channels. Have you heard about the fanboy channels, Abhishek? The fanboy channels went to the stadiums and short of giving oath to Vijay, they stood at the pandals. They spoke about the arrangement of the pandals and how the seats were arranged and the seat covers were put.
Yeah.
And they were about to give oath to Vijay. It didn't happen day before yesterday, didn't happen yesterday, didn't happen today. And the fanboy channels, for some reason, are all very keen. It's like the Kejriwal movement. You remember when Kejriwal came in, the Kejriwal fanboys, all lined up. And similarly, they're doing the same with Vijay. Except that, it's not looking good for them.
But you know,
It's not
Kejriwal
looking
of,
good for
but you know, the Kejriwal of 2013 turned into Kejriwal of 2015 also. So with the kind of, the vote share that Vijay has got, whether the Vijay of 2026 can translate into Kejriwal of 2015 in the next election is something you have to watch out for, because nobody was expecting that he would get this number.
Yeah, but you don't, as a journalist, you don't go and, lay out the red carpet, right?
Just that too fractured. Yeah, of course.
You don't
I'm
need to lay out the red
not on that. I'm on Vijay. Vijay, the fact that
I was on fanboys.
He has really sprung a surprise and really proved to be a disruptor insofar as Tamil Nadu politics.
100%.
Yeah, we are staying with the pictures from Bengal, from the airport, and Prime Minister arrived. The BJP leaders are there.
Speak.
Okay, a different plane landing. We will see him out in a bit. And do we have more pictures? Something more from Brigade Parade Ground, perhaps? Has Suvendu Adhikari reached? Do we have pictures of the dash? Do we have a reporter there? We can go to the reporters to get a feel.
We have a reporter, Harsha's there, but we are being told that the network there is terrible.
Yeah.
Network is terrible, and you've had to completely depend on news agencies to give you the live feeds from there. But Shatarupa is joining us live. I think we can go to Shatarupa, contested from Baliganj in Kolkata. Tough fight. She fought a tough battle. Shatarupa, a big day for all of you. Why are you not at the Brigade ground? Why are you at home? Why are you in Baliganj?
It's your fault. It's your fault. You people wanted me here. So I agreed. And then the central media said that, no, I need to be on television. So here I am, all decked up to go to the Brigade, but I'll have to see the Brigade through you people.
But Shatarupa, we are already getting those reports that very low intensity post-poll violence continues. The BJP leaders have made statements of intent that this should not happen, that this is not allowed. Do you see a clean break from earlier culture of political violence in Bengal?
100%. You see, the intent is very, very, very clear from our leadership. Our state president has made it very clear that just by picking up a flag and overnight, coloring your forehead with saffron abid does not make you a BJP. You should have been part of the struggle to be called BJP now. You should have been a member. You should have understood our ideology and then call yourself a BJP after going through the official protocol of membership. But here, Shamikda has very clearly said that just by, carrying a flag, you go and disrupt somebody else's office. This is not part of our culture. We don't do that. Our leadership down the ladder, middle leadership, the Karyakartas have all been told no kind of violence will be tolerated. Nobody is to harass any Trinamool person, whether it is a spokesperson, whether it is a neta. Nobody is supposed to harass Trinamool under any circumstances. Nobody is supposed to talk ill of the Chief Minister and her ex-Chief Minister and her rest of her ministers. Nobody is supposed to make any kind of personal comments on them. Most importantly, the police have been told that pick up any miscreants irrespective of the color or political affiliation. So this intent, this statement from the Honorable State President, of course, speaks volumes of BJP's discipline. And even when, in Baliganj, people are telling me that, you should come and attend this julus or come and help us take over that office. I'm also being very clear that this is no way. We are not going to do anything like this. It is the mandate of the people with which we are blessed to come to power now. In a few minutes now, Suvendu, I think, has already reached the Brigade, as per my information goes. He will be sworn in. The Prime Minister, I think, has just landed. There have been several other chief ministers who have come. So today is a happy day for us that almost after 75 years after Shama Prasad Mukherjee's death and his struggle in 1952 to keep West Bengal as part of India during the time of partition in the Radcliffe Mission, It is after so many decades that BJP is now going to form a government in the birthplace of Dr. Shyama Prasad Mukherjee. I don't know if it's pertinent to say this here. I had coined a slogan that Shyama Prasader Janmo Bhumi Hobe Ebar Bijoy Bhumi, which means the land of Shyama Prasad Mukherjee's, the birthplace, will now become the symbol of victory, the land of victory for BJP. And it happened this time. It is an extremely emotional moment for us, all of us, because this victory comes to us after the death of some 300 people. In 2021, I remember lakhs of people had to run away from their home. We had to keep them safe in different states, different BJP states. People's houses have been razed to the ground. Women have been ravaged. Men have been killed. Our karyakartas were made to, they were killed and hanged from trees. My heart goes out to the memory of a boy called Abhijit. His brother Bishwajit is very much always in the news. He carries on the fight. He had little pet dogs, puppies. They were, smashed to death, and Abhijit was killed in his own house brutally. So this is something that our hearts, our memories are filled with these kind of, what shall I say, heavy, sad stories. And they're not even stories, they're things that we have lived through. I myself have been a member of BJP since 1986, and I have seen the year after year after year, our leaders would contest and we would...
Well, Bengal is known indeed, ma'am, for, change, for revolution, for reform. And we see that BJP is promising that change. And we completely understand the sentiments that you are right now highlighting and expressing. Ma'am, also, I want to understand from you, I know you have to also leave for the ceremony, but just a quick word on what can you tell us about the number of ministers? Because we are learning that not the entire cabinet would be sworn in, but what is really going to happen? Are we going to see a few ministers today taking oath?
I don't have information about this. I'm not very clear about this, but as far as I know, today only the Chief Minister will be sworn in, and the winning MLAs will be sitting in the front row. As far as the guests are concerned, apart from the Honorable Prime Minister and the Honorable Minister of Home, he's already here. In fact, Minister of Home is already here. Shah is heading to the venue. You've already written that. But I think we are expecting all the chief ministers of different BJP-ruled states. I think I saw on your screen Dharmendra Pradhan. Smriti Irani has just landed, I'm told. So that's it. I'm not very clear. I can't say yes, I can't say no. I'm not very clear as to who else will be sworn in, but as far as I know, I think it's only the Chief Minister who will be sworn in today.
Okay. I just want to make a point here, where she contested from Shaturupa, and we'll stay on the pictures. I just want to make a point. Baliganj. Abhishek, if you know Kolkata, Baliganj, the demography of Baliganj has changed. In the last 10 years, I can tell you personally, I've seen Baliganj, and you can't recognize Baliganj there. I mean, let me just say infiltrators from Bangladesh. It is, yeah, she's saying something.
No, not infiltrators. This is the irony of Baliganj. Baliganj has it's a constituency which is supposed to be, it is regarded as one of the most posh constituencies.
Yeah.
However, the Muslims who reside in Baliganj is an official whopping count of 64% and an unofficial double whopping count of 79%. However, there are no infiltrators here. Here, the Muslims have chosen to live in India at the time of Pakistan. So they have not been, erased from the SIR list. They are very much part of this constituency. And when I was campaigning, I made it very clear to them. I met them. Some of them came over to meet me. That it is high time that you chose a government which thinks of you as human beings, thinks of you as citizens of India.
Muslims of Baliganj would ever vote for you?
No, they didn't.
They didn't.
Would they ever vote for you?
They didn't. No, they didn't. They didn't.
They are like middle class, well-off Muslims?
No, I don't think so. Because, when I saw the booth-wise, while in the counting room, when I was looking at it booth-wise, it was very clear that it was a very unfortunate divide. the entire Muslim population, almost 90% of the Muslim population, only chose to vote for Trinamool. They
did you make an outreach? How did you make an outreach when you say that, you know, when Suvendu at every, you know, drop of a hat says Hindu, Hindu, then how would you convince them? How did you make an outreach?
I want to make a correction here. Shubhendida has mentioned Hindu, Hindu, but he has also mentioned that the residents of India, irrespective of their religion, are going to be treated as Indians. There is going to be no divide between Hindu and Muslim. I conveyed that to them. And I remember I had made Urdu pamphlets where Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas and the yojanas that we have for the Muslim community as well. And what inclusive policy that we have.
Shatarupa, I wish you luck in the next election if you're going to get votes, you know, from the other side. It's good. I really wish you luck. I wish you luck. You're speaking like a Bhodro from Baliganj.
कार्यकर्ताओं ने शुवेंदु अधिकारी जो सीएम बन रहे हैं उनका बड़ा योगदान है और आदरणीय प्रधानमंत्री जी के ऊपर लोगों ने भरोसा किया। या भय और भरोसा ये लड़ाई थी, तो भय हार गया और भरोसा मोदी जी का जीत गया। और इसलिए अभी डबल इंजन की सरकार यहाँ काम करेगी, यहाँ परिवर्तन होगा, यहाँ डेवलपमेंट होगा, यहाँ इंडस्ट्री आएगी, इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर होगा, लोगों को रोजगार मिलेगा, माता बहनें सुरक्षित होगी। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद।
Okay, that's okay. Eknath Shinde also there. Let's go across before we take a break and come back. I want to go across to Adwaita Kala also joining us. Adwaita Kala is a commentator on politics, and she's you know, seen and witnessed governments come and go, governments fall, arrogant leaders fall. For some reason, I remember, I can't help but remember the Uddhav Thackeray government, Abhishek, and the fall of Uddhav Thackeray government. It's something like that. You know, when we look at what happened in Bengal, I think people were extremely angry. Adwaita Kala, when you look at the BJP government being sworn in today, how would you describe the emotions of the people of Bengal?
You know, Niranjan, I was watching the visuals that you all have of the Prime Minister's plane landing. And I said, this is probably the first time in his long career as Prime Minister now, over 15 years actually, wherein he's going to be landing to not a hostile reception. Because remember, Mamata Banerjee was taking on governors. She was showing her arrogance to someone of high office like the Prime Minister. There was actually no rein on her, neither rein in terms of you know, just basic niceties or a basic protocol of office, just nothing. She was running her own, you know, kind of empire there. And no, I don't often quote Rahul Gandhi, but he was absolutely right in saying that this was a very corrupt syndicate and called it out quite clearly. And that's exactly what it has been. It has been a culture of intimidation. It has been a culture of abuse, of violence, of the kind of fear that whenever I encountered it, you know, for example, if I would want to do like a YouTube show and casually call someone from West Bengal, educated, well-spoken, well-connected, come on and discuss politics in West Bengal, they used to say, sorry, but we can't do that because we live here and it'll be intolerable for us to be caught up in any kind of situation. They're very vindictive. So this was what was going on right from, you know, the so-called Bhadralok to the cadre on the ground, to poor people, on the women of Sandesh Khali. There was just this air of intimidation and fear, which was frankly something that one has not witnessed in any other state of India. And once you realize that, you see just how monumental this victory was and the personal sacrifice that many people have made over the years, nameless, faceless people with no possibility of power, making sacrifices year after year, decade after decade. So this moment really belongs to those brave people who stood by their party, stood by their ideology, stood by the democratic principles that we have all been assured, that of freedom to live and to speak in the way we want to. And this, unfortunately, was not the reality in West Bengal. And I always say this, she used elite voices very strategically. So in Delhi and on television screens, she
a very different picture of Trinamool on television and a very different picture on the ground. The difference between Sayoni Ghosh and Santosh Khali,
Yes.
If I could try to show the contrast with those words and those names. Rakshita, I think we have our reporters on the ground. Adwaita, stay with us. We are coming back.
We'll take a short break.
Short break. Coming back on the other side with ground reports and, of course, live coverage.
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद ये तो है इसकी खास बात। वाओ मामा क्या स्वाद है? अरे मेरे राजा
रानी, इस घर में कुछ है जो टूटता नहीं।
ये पिलर कभी नहीं टूटेगा। रुंगटा स्टील टीएमटी से बना।
रुंगटा नहीं तो घर स्ट्रॉन्ग नहीं। रुंगटा स्टील टीएमटी बार एकदम सॉलिड।
प्यास बुझाए ठंडक लाए सबको भाई जीरा से MDH का जलजीरा जीरा से।
जीरा से असली रिफ्रेशिंग, असली स्वाद, असली मजा।
MDH।
और शाही पनीर मसाला, डिलीशियस, हेल्दी, एवरीडे।
केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे, दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे। केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ।
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी।
चमकी चाट से क्या बना है?
सैंडविच, लस्सी और छाछ और
हर घूंट में चमकी चाट। अब बताओ स्वाद आया? आया।
असली स्वाद सिर्फ चंकी चाट।
Approximately 3:30 this afternoon, our plainclothes officers and agents that consistently patrol the outer perimeter of the White House complex identified a suspicious individual that appeared to have a firearm. They called in support from our marked uniformed Secret Service police to make contact with that individual. Upon making contact, that individual fled briefly on foot, withdrew a firearm, and fired in the direction of our agents and officers. They returned fire and engaged. That individual was hit. He's since been transported to the hospital. I have no comments on his condition. I can tell you that at least one, we believe only one bystander was hit by the suspect. That individual is a juvenile, did not sustain any life-threatening injuries, but he's also receiving treatment at the hospital. I'll point out that not long before this shooting occurred, the Vice President's motorcade did transit through this area. The investigation itself, in terms of the use of force in the shooting, will be conducted by Metropolitan Police Department.
Great to be here. I'm thrilled to be back in the home of a great place. I love Florida. We love Florida. With all of the very proud, great American patriots of the villages. Are we happy with the villages? We like the villages. Now, you know, I shouldn't be here. There was just an attempt, I won't use the word, an attempt, they say, on my life. I should be indoors at a secure facility where I can quietly, beautifully, and safely play out my term, destroying everything that comes in our way, like bad countries that want to get nuclear weapons.
Okay, live pictures coming in from Kolkata. Abhishek, the Prime Minister has landed.
Yeah. The eagle has landed, as they say in the United States.
Yes, and I want to talk about the Prime Minister, Abhishek, and, you know, for the BJP, right, Amit Shah was there personally looking at the campaign, point one. And secondly, for the Prime Minister, I remember the 2021 when Republic Bangla was launched, they really had hopes of, you know, winning that election, but they've had to wait 5 years. They've been calm, and they've been strategizing, and that strategy has paid off today. When you look back at the last 5 to 10 years of the BJP in Bengal, now, for the Prime Minister, how critical is Bengal? And for the BJP, how critical has this entire campaign been?
Yeah, it's been a 10-year project, Niranjan. In fact, a little more than 10 years. In fact, I recall when I was covering the party in the field, and remember 2015 period, Amit Shah had just taken over as the president of the party, and he kept a Bangla teacher for himself in Delhi. Amit Shah was learning Bangla.
Oh.
And I remember I went to Kolkata a couple of times to cover a couple of his, visits and rallies. And the manner in which he was going after the Bengal electoral map, literally with a scalpel, and the manner in which he was setting the stage, really, it took a while, obviously, because there was momentum already going in for Trinamool. And remember, 2011, Mamata got about 50% of the Muslim vote share. In 2016, it increased to 65%, and it peaked in 2021 at 75%. And that really explains why, even as BJP was consolidating its own vote share and seat share, Trinamool continued to have an edge. That edge now stands blunted because whatever maximum the Trinamool could extract from the Muslim vote bank, they have done, and BJP in the meanwhile consolidated the Hindu vote bank, translating into these number of seats. So it's been a long project. A lot of things remain unseen. So for example, a small thing, Niranjan, the BJP held about 1,000 odd Narendra Cup football events.
Yeah.
Right? Narendra, of course, in the name of Swami Vivekananda also, it can be said, but also in the name of the Prime Minister. And that really made BJP go right into the paras, as it is called in Bengal, and, match Trinamool cadre for cadre. Similarly, of course, the booth systems that were put in place by Amit Shah finally coming of age in Bengal and translating into electoral dividends for the party this time. Prime Minister's chopper landing at the Brigade Parade Ground, which means we are looking at the event starting anytime. And 11 o'clock is the time that oath-taking has to take place, so the time being kept. We have our Hindi team live from the Brigade Parade Ground. Can we cut to it?
वक्त है, लेकिन पीएम मोदी कोलकाता की धरती पर पहुंच चुके हैं। इससे पहले पीएम मोदी जितनी बार भी अब तक आए हैं बीते कुछ दिनों में, तो पीएम मोदी चुनाव प्रचार के सिलसिले में आए। पीएम मोदी ने यहाँ पे 20 से ज्यादा रोड शो किए, 40 से ज्यादा यहाँ पर रैलियां की, इसके अलावा नुक्कड़ सभाएं की, इसके अलावा झालमुड़ी खाई, हुगली नदी पर नौका विहार किया। लेकिन आज का मौका बहुत खास है, क्योंकि तमाम चुनाव प्रचार के बाद बंगाल की जनता ने बीजेपी के भरोसे पर जो अपना भरोसा जताया, उसके बाद आज ऐतिहासिक दिन है, क्योंकि आज शपथ ग्रहण का कार्यक्रम है ब्रिगेड परेड ग्राउंड, जिसका अपना बहुत पुराना इतिहास है। उसी ब्रिगेड परेड ग्राउंड पर कुछ देर में शुभेंदु अधिकारी बीजेपी के पहले मुख्यमंत्री के
Waiting for the live feed to come in, Abhishek. When the live feed comes in, we're going to go across straight up. And as we do that, let's get you some breaking news from Tamil Nadu. Complete drama in Tamil Nadu. Vijay thriller continues. And 116, he needs 117, has just 116. AIDMK MLAs are returning from Puducherry. They are meeting EPS. Dinakaran claims his MLA has been abducted. DMK says this is no politics of change, and Vijay's turned out to be just one of them. It's complete drama in Tamil Nadu. Going across to Sharda with the updates. In fact, Dinakaran spoke to Sharda and showed how they faked the letters last night. We have that. Let's play that out, what Dinakaran said, and we'll come across to my colleague Sharda as well. Okay, Sharda, I'll come to you. If you can tell us what is happening there. All these leaders are coming back. Is there a meeting? Are they continuing to strategize? Why is VCK delaying the decision? Picture abhi baki hai.
Niranjan, as of now, the VCK is yet to announce the two MLAs, whether they are supporting the TVK or whether they're going to continue with the DMK. However, yesterday the left parties, the communists, while announcing, said that the VCK is also along with them. The official letter has not yet been given. However, the meeting of the VCK went on from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. last night, and following that meeting, Thirumavelan even met the former Chief Minister M.K. Stalin of the DMK party, so that created a lot of confusion if the VCK leader is going to be supporting the TVK or not, whether the decision is with the TVK or they are going to be continuing with the DMK. The question is still there. Vijay is right now at 116 numbers, and the two more is required from the VCK party whom he has approached, so we have to wait and see. In a few minutes, VCK is to be giving their official announcement of which they are supporting the TVK or not. We are still waiting for that. The game continues. Meanwhile, the AIADMK MLAs who were in Pondicherry are now returning to meet the party General Secretary Edapadi K. Palaniswamy. If Vijay's number do not reach 118, AIADMK will move forward to the governor to give a letter, because last night we saw AMMK leader telling that AIADMK Edapadi Palaniswamy should be called to form the government. AMMK leader speaking to us mentioned that while DMK has decided to go as opposition, it is the third party AIADMK, which is a number with the leading numbers of 47, should be invited to form the government, following which they will call for an alliance with other parties, and if there is support, the third third in line AIADMK might for the government is what AMMK leader Mr. Dinakaran has told us. So now the game continues on, whether the DMK is telling that they want to play the opposition, whereas the AIADMK says they want DMK supposed to come back back to the first place and continue ruling. And whereas TVK's Vijay is still fighting for 2 seats to reach the majority of numbers, Niranjan.
I think it's still a thriller, and the fact that a 107 MLA party's leader Vijay has to go to the office of 2 MLA party VCK really shows the kind of pincer that that the situation is in so far as Vijay is concerned. It's despite the performance, it's not been a smooth sailing, and it seems like he just might about manage the numbers, but as of now, it looks like a little tight. We'll come back to you both, Aishwarya and Sharda. Okay, Aishwarya, in fact, is outside the VCK office. Aishwarya, how long before Vijay comes in? Because we are hearing that he's going to be there to plead for his case and get the support of those 2 MLAs.
Absolutely. First, we are waiting for Thirumavelan, the BCK chief, to finally make an official announcement whether he might support TVK or remain in the DMK alliance. But after Thirumavelan's official announcement, Vijay is also likely to come here and speak to Thirumavelan and, in fact, thank him or persuade him. That is what the situation might lead to. But what our sources is saying is that VCK is all likely to support TVK only, and the entire confusion that happened yesterday was just a courtesy meet with Stalin that had actually blown out of proportion by the media, is what the inside sources of VCK are telling us. But because the CPI, CPM, when they were officially announcing that they are supporting TVK and Vijay's party, they also mentioned that VCK will follow their footsteps as well, and they had also made an announcement on the behalf of VCK saying that VCK will also support TVK, and because Thirumavelan could not reach the press briefing on time, they are making an announcement on the behalf of VCK chief as well. But however, in the late night, there was...
Just stay on with us, Aishwarya. We have to just right now go back to Bengal, and my colleague Anamika, in fact, is reporting from the Brigade ground.
किनारे में चला गया था,
पूजा पाठ करना चाहता था, करने नहीं देता था।
हम लोग को कोई बात नहीं सुन रहा था सरकार।
लग रहा है आप लोग पूजा पाठ खुल के कर पाएंगे। रामनवमी के
পিসি চোর ভাইপো চোর চলে গেছে, এখান থেকে পিসি চোর ভাইপো চোরের আর জায়গা নেই। পিসি চোর ভাইপো চোর পুরো এখান থেকে চলে গেছে এবার। চোর রাজ খতম हुआ, রাজ খতম हुआ, খতম। अब हिंदू राज शुरू हुआ। ধ্বনি উঠবে খালি জয় শ্রী রাম, জয় শ্রী রাম।
चेहरे पे मुस्कान है, माथे पर भगवा टीका है, चेहरे पे मुस्कान के साथ खुशी इस बात की कि अब बंगाल भय मुक्त होगा, बंगाल आजाद हो रहा है।
हिंदुओं को बहुत दबाया गया, हिंदुओं को पूरा दबाया गया, इतना दबाया गया कि हिंदू मुख से अपना हम भगवान का नाम नहीं ले पाते थे। हरे कृष्णा महामंत्र हम लोग जाप करते थे और जाप नहीं कर पाते थे, कुछ नहीं, सिर्फ राम सलाम करना ही बस, उसके बाद कुछ नहीं। ऐसे इतना दब के हम लोग जी रहे थे। आज लगा कि हम भारतवर्ष में हूँ, लगता ही नहीं था कि मैं भारत में हूँ, लगता था कि मैं बंगाल में हूँ, बांग्लादेश में हूँ, बंगाल नहीं बांग्लादेश में हूँ, पाकिस्तान में हूँ। इस तरह से मैं हमारे ऊपर हिंदुओं के ऊपर में जुल्म था। हिंदुओं से मतलब इन लोगों से आज हिंदू
पूजा पाठ करने की आजादी मिली,
पूजा पाठ करने की आज़ादी मिली है, भगवान का
धार्मिक अनुष्ठान है वो करने की आजादी मिलेगी, पूजा पाठ करने की। और बताइए, और आप लोगों को
Convoy coming out of that sound bite, and we are cutting live to pictures of the Prime Minister arriving at the Brigade Parade ground. A massive history there of that location where once in 1972 Sheikh Mujibur Rahman had made an address while on his way to Dhaka after the change, after the revolution there, having led the Mukti Bahini, and after defeating Pakistan in the armed rebellion against West Pakistan. Then Prime Minister now arriving at a very different moment for the Brigade Parade ground, a revolution of sorts, given the fact, Rakshita, that this is the first time since independence that a right-wing government is taking oath and coming to power in Bengal. Remember, between Congress and a very long rule of the CPM left, and then of course 15 years of Mamata Banerjee, Bengal has almost like a political culture stayed with to the left of center, and this is the first time a right of center government coming to power. And Prime Minister, the fact that Prime Minister himself, led from the front in terms of the campaign of the BJP, and some iconic moments there of him playing football in Darjeeling and in Sikkim actually, but then he taking a boat ride in Hooghly and visiting Belur Mutt. And on the day of the results, of course, in that kocha dhoti, as it is called, very traditional Bengali attire. Can we cut to the nats and see if we're getting some sounds also from those pictures?
हाँ बहुत महल পাল্টানো দরকার ছিল অভয়ের হত্যাকাণ্ডের পরে এটা আমাদের দরকার ছিল
अच्छा आप कहाँ से आई हैं मौजतला से आई हुई है महिलाओं के लिए माहौल बदलेगा पहले से है
पहले बदलेगा हम लोगों का बिलीव है उसमें
ये कह रही कि माहौल बदल जाएगा और क्या कुछ चाहते हैं आप लोग नई सरकार
26,000 टीचर जो ये হয়েছে চাকরি
आगे आइए
রিপাবলিক জিন্দাবাদ আমাদের ভারতীয় জনতা পার্টিকে নিয়ে আসার জন্য রিপাবলিককে অসংখ্য ধন্যবাদ আমাদের রিপাবলিককে অসংখ্য মহেশতলাবাসীকে ধন্যবাদ রিপাবলিক আমাদের প্রত্যেকটা হিন্দুদের পরিবারের পাশে দাঁড়িয়েছে
रिपब्लिक को लेकर जो दीवानगी है रिपब्लिक को लेकर जो क्रेज है यहाँ पर लोगों में वो भी आप देख पा रहे होंगे लोग यहाँ पर रिपब्लिक जिंदाबाद के नारे लगा रहे हैं और जिस तरीके से रिपब्लिक बांग्ला ने रिपब्लिक की पूरी टीम ने रिपब्लिक एक तरीके से पूरे ऑर्गेनाइजेशन ने यहाँ पर लोगों की आवाज़ दिखाई पूरे चुनाव में उसके बाद लोग यहाँ पर एक तरीके से अपनी भावनाओं को व्यक्त कर रहे हैं ये देखिए जिस तरीके से दीवानगी देख रहे हैं आप लोग रिपब्लिक जिंदाबाद करते हुए यहाँ से गुजर रहे हैं हाथों में झंडा है बीजेपी का और चेहरे पे मुस्कान है एक एक करके बोलिए
बंगाल में एक नया सूरज उगा है बंगाल में एक नया सूरज उगा है बहुत दिनों बाद आज बंगाल का सपना पूरा हो गया जो हिंदुत्व का लिए जो गाली दे रहा था लोग हिंदुत्व को आज हिंदुत्व क्या चीज है लोग अच्छी तरह समझ जाएगा ठीक है
ठीक है तो जो हिंदुत्व क्या है आप लोग यहाँ के समझ जाएंगे अब जरा मैं कुछ और लोगों से बात कर लूँ आप लोग बताइए नई सरकार से जी
আমাদের মহেশতলাবাসী সমস্ত যেসব কার্যকর্তারা এসে এবং মহেশতলার সমস্ত গ্রামবাসীরা যারা এসছে এদিক থেকে সবাই মিলে আমরা রিপাবলিককে ধন্যবাদ এবং আমাদের তরফ থেকে প্রণাম জানাই সবাই
सभी लोग हाथ जोड़कर रिपब्लिक को धन्यवाद फिर देखिए ये भरोसा है
गोस्वामी जिंदाबाद के लिए लड़ा है तो सबसे आगे रिपब्लिक है হ্যাঁ सबसे आगे रिपब्लिक এই যদি না থাকতো আজ আমরা হিন্দু অনেক নিচে নেমে যেতাম রিপাবলিককে আমাদের
ওই ভাষা কইতা এই রিপাবলিক বাংলা আমাদের সত্যের পথে নিয়ে গেছে এই রিপাবলিক বাংলা আছে বলে আমরা যে এই পথে নামতে পেরেছি এই সত্য সাংবাদিক কথার কারণে हम बोल रहे हैं लेकिन कह रहे हैं कि रिपब्लिक बांग्ला ने रिपब्लिक ने हमारी आवाज को बुलंद खूब ভালোবাসি रिपब्लिक बांग्ला सारा जीवन देखा जावे कार्यकर्ताओं की आंखों में आंसू है बोलते हुए
We've seen that. Okay, we are getting in some visuals from. Okay, Keshav Prasad Maurya is also there. We can cut across to the sound.
पश्चिम बंगाल के लोगों को नहीं पूरे हिंदुस्तान के लोगों की थी और माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी के वादे पर भरोसा करके पश्चिम बंगाल की जनता ने जो आशीर्वाद दिया है भारतीय जनता पार्टी उन हर वादों को पूरा करेगी शुभेंदु अधिकारी जी के नेतृत्व में।
कमल खिल गया बंगाल में।
देखिए आज मैं पश्चिम बंगाल के लोगों का बहुत बहुत अभिनंदन करता हूँ बधाइयाँ देता हूँ।
It's a very special day for the people of West Bengal. Please, exactly. So it's a very big day for the people of West Bengal. They have given us this mandate. It's them, and now everybody will work and do their best so that West Bengal development actually happens now.
आज रविंद्र जयंती का दिन है और उसके उपलक्ष्य में कार्यक्रम रखा गया है रविंद्र संगीत भी हर जगह बज रहा है तो बीजेपी को कहा गया था कि बाहरी पार्टी है तो क्या ये साबित करने की एक तरह से कोशिश है
ये कोई साबित करने की बात नहीं है डॉक्टर श्यामा प्रसाद मुखर्जी की भूमि को अगर आप बोलना चाहते हैं कि वो बाहर के पार्टी हैं तो इसके जैसा ये इसका क्या जवाब दिया जाए बोलिए तो
थैंक यू वेरी मच
Right, we're getting in reactions in the run-up to that oath-taking ceremony that is going to begin anytime from now. We have the dignitaries arriving, the top ministers, MLAs. You have the governor also, yes, arriving. The cavalcade of the governor and the Prime Minister will be also arriving. He has, in fact, landed at the Brigade ground.
He's reached the Brigade Parade ground. He should be there in the backstage, and very soon we are going to see pictures of the event streaming in and the ceremony starting. It's going to be a small one, Rakshita. We are told 5 odd ministers to take oath. Some of the names are already there in public domain, but we would rather not speculate. Suvendu there in saffron. I mean, he is really both literally and metaphorically worn saffron on his sleeves. And
rise of the saffron in Bengal today we see.
Today he's making a statement with his kurta also, with the rise of the saffron in Bengal. We were discussing that this is a first for the Bengali politics, for the people of Bengal, that they have voted a right-wing government to power after a good 76 years of independence. And Suvendu there dressed for the occasion, and he's going to be taking oath as Chief Minister. Along with 5 more ministers, Bengal can have 33, maximum 33 ministers as per the standard that we have. For 15% of the assembly strength can be the Council of Ministers for any state and the union also. So in the case of Bengal with 294 MLAs, they can have 33. Shatrupa is still with us. Shatrupa. The regional dynamics in play, the fact that BJP has traditionally had its strongholds in North Bengal, and now, of course, breaching the South Bengal bastion of Mamata Banerjee, those dynamics would be coming into play in the Council of Ministers, as also the kind of work that's been done by Union Home Minister Amit Shah in terms of mapping of electoral constituencies. The fact that SIR played its role, so many things that have gone into this BJP victory. One aspect which is now emerging is that the SIR actually helped the Trinamool more perhaps than the BJP.
Well, it's now too late to discuss about the SIR. The fact is that today the new government is being sworn in on the birth anniversary of
Prime Minister arriving there in style. Sorry to be interjecting, Shatrupa, but those are compelling pictures. Prime Minister in an open decorated jeep coming in, and an open truck.
And this is the first time we're seeing for an oath ceremony. Yes.
And I'll have to identify who else is there with him.
Shamik Bhattacharya is there.
Shamik Bhattacharya, the state president of the party there. So Prime Minister making a grand entrance there in Brigade Parade Ground, venue of the oath-taking ceremony of the first BJP government of Bengal, the Chief Minister designate, and the outgoing leader of opposition, Suvendu Adhikari, on one side to his left, and Shamik Bhattacharya, the BJP president, to his right. And the kind of work that the BJP has done, the kind of campaign they led to perfection, not making one mistake, one slip, not attacking Mamata Banerjee even once through the campaign, making sure that the focus remained on consolidating the BJP vote, and the double-engine Sarkar pitch, which is finally translated into this mandate. The mandate has been massive. The fact that SIR that we were discussing has actually helped the Trinamool and the opposition in the bloc, and wherever there were more deletions, and helped the Trinamool and the opposition wherever there were more additions, and not helped the BJP. So the SIR bluff has been called, and despite that, the BJP has made this tremendous victory in Bengal, 207 seats. Even if you account for the 27 lakh deletions that remain contested or under adjudication, if you give them proportionate to the mandate, even then the BJP lands at about 180, 190. And so this thing that because of SIR, the BJP has won, or SI has contributed in any manner to the BJP victory, falls flat. Prime Minister, they can make a ground entry. Can we cut to Nat sound there, live pictures, live sounds?
আপনারা যাকে দেখছেন পর্দায়, তার উপস্থিতিতে, তাদের সকলের উপস্থিতিতে, আর মঞ্চে হিন্দিতে বলে না, চার চাঁদ লাগ গয়া। তো আপনারা দেখতেই পাচ্ছেন স্মৃতি ইরানিজি আমাদের মধ্যে এসে পৌঁছেছেন, আরও এরকম অনেকে আছেন, কতজনের নাম আমরা করব যাদের উপস্থিতি ভিন রাজ্য থেকে এসেছেন, তাদের সকলের উপস্থিতিতে আজ কিন্তু সেজে উঠেছে ব্রিগেডের এই রঙিন মঞ্চ। আমাদের মধ্যে এসে পৌঁছে গেছেন মাননীয় প্রধানমন্ত্রী, আমাদের পরম আদরণীয় প্রধানমন্ত্রী শ্রী নরেন্দ্র মোদীজি। बस नई खुशियों के साथ जागो आज, नई सूर्य किरणों में, शुभ सुंदर प्रेम से उज्जवल और निर्मल जीवन में जीवन का नया झरना फूट पड़ा है। आशाओं के गीत उभर रहे हैं। आज शांति की इस पवन में अमर पुष्पों की साथ सुगंध बह रही है। আমাদের মধ্যে মাননীয় প্রধানমন্ত্রী, তার একদিকে রয়েছেন শ্রী শ্রমিক ভট্টাচার্য, সঙ্গে রয়েছেন সিএম ডেজিগনেট শ্রী শুভেন্দু অধিকারীজি। তারা এসে পৌঁছচ্ছেন এবং তারা মঞ্চে এসে পৌঁছলেই আমরা জাতীয় সঙ্গীত দিয়ে স্বাগত জানাবো। আজকে প্রথমেই আমরা সকলে মাননীয় প্রধানমন্ত্রী এসে পৌঁছানো মাত্র পরিবেশিত হবে জাতীয় সঙ্গীত। তারপরে অনুষ্ঠানের যে কার্যক্রম রয়েছে আমরা তাতে চলে যাব। বাংলার পক্ষে এক অত্যন্ত গুরুত্বপূর্ণ দিন। মাননীয় প্রধানমন্ত্রী আজ পশ্চিম বাংলার বিধানসভার শপথ গ্রহণ অনুষ্ঠানে উপস্থিত। आप सब जोरदार कट्टल ध्वनि के साथ परम आदरणीय प्रधानमंत्री श्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी का स्वागत करें।
Prime Minister there arriving at the venue, and you hear the massive welcome that Prime Minister has received arriving with Suvendu Adhikari, the CM designate, and the BJP President Shamik Bhattacharya, rest of the BJP leadership on the dash. They have prepared one specific dash where the BJP is memorializing all the workers.
কিন্তু যাতায়াতের পথ দুপাশে মানুষ উচ্ছ্বাস, তারা শুধুমাত্র একটু দেখতে চাইছেন, একটু কাছে যেতে চাইছেন। সব সময় সেটা সম্ভব হবে না। এই সীমিত পরিসরের মধ্যে দিয়ে মাননীয় প্রধানমন্ত্রীর সঙ্গে সিএম ডেজিগনেট শ্রী শুভেন্দু অধিকারী, শ্রী শ্রমিক ভট্টাচার্য, আরও অনেক বিশিষ্ট ব্যক্তিত্ব আজকে উপস্থিত আছেন। মঞ্চের দিকে এগিয়ে আসছেন তারা। Can we all stand up and give a standing ovation to रक्षा मंत्री जी श्री राजनाथ सिंह, गृह मंत्री जी श्री अमित शाह और उनके साथ है बहुत सारे और व्यक्तित्व। নিতিন নবীনজি সকলে মিলে এদেরকে স্বাগত জানান। নিতিন নবীনজি আমাদের মধ্যে আছেন, গৃহমন্ত্রী আছেন শ্রী অমিত শাহ, আমাদের মধ্যে আছেন রাজনাথ সিং জি, রক্ষা মন্ত্রী।
Prime Minister taking a walkabout among the masses there and accepting their greetings. Look at the rush and the pull that's there to greet the Prime Minister as he has just come off that decorated truck along with Chief Minister designate Suvendu Adhikari and Shamik Bhattacharya. Prime Minister there doing a walkabout of the ground where the crowd is present and accepting those greetings even as the rest of the BJP leaders are on the stage and ready for the oath-taking ceremony to begin anytime now. Prime Minister just coming up to the stage after going through that welcome amongst the masses. It's a big moment for the BJP cadres and the people of Bengal. But these are the people who are assembled, who have really slogged for a decade and more. Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh, Yogi Adityanath, there also in the pictures. He was one of the star campaigners. Not many rallies, but still some. And essentially, if you look at it, the architect of this victory is definitely this man on screen, Union Home Minister Amit Shah, flanked by Rajnath Singh on one side and N. Chandrababu Naidu, key allies of the NDA, Chief Minister of Andhra Pradesh to his right. And we're going to see Prime Minister reach the dais anytime now. Look at the rush among the cadres to be taking selfies and pictures as the Prime Minister walks by. Prime Minister there, one of those few iconic moments of his campaign. He could split screen and run. By the time he reaches the stage, him taking a boat ride at the Hooghly, visiting the Belur Math temple, having Jalmuri in Jhargram, that really sort of trended for a while during the campaign across Bengal and sent a message of the Prime Minister's intent to be seen with the masses, Prime Minister's intent to identify himself.
মানুষের উত্তেজনা
and
ধ্বনি
all right.
সেই সঙ্গে মানুষের
still there where Prime Minister is yet to arrive on the stage.
কিছুতে মুখর
Still milling through the masses, taking the greetings.
এই মঞ্চ
The oath taking of the first BJP government in Bengal is taking place on the birth anniversary of Nobel laureate Rabindranath Tagore.
CM designate.
And they are on the stage now.
বাকি যারা মঞ্চে এসে উপস্থিত হয়েছেন আপনারা সকলেই দেখতে পাচ্ছেন। আমি জানি এখানে হয়তো 1 লক্ষের বেশি মানুষ আছেন, কিন্তু বড় বড় স্ক্রিনেও আপনারা দেখতে পাচ্ছেন যে মঞ্চে উপস্থিত আছেন কত বিশিষ্ট ব্যক্তিত্ব। আজকে মনে হয় যে ভারত সরকারই যেন উপস্থিত পশ্চিমবঙ্গে। হঠাৎ করে একদিনের জন্যে ভারত সরকারের কাজকর্ম যেন পশ্চিমবঙ্গ থেকে, কলকাতার থেকে সংগঠিত হচ্ছে। সবাইকে ধন্যবাদ আজকের এই ঐতিহাসিক ঘটনার শরিক থাকার জন্যে। মিঠুন চক্রবর্তী আমাদের সকলের দাদা আমাদের মধ্যে এসে উপস্থিত।
And star campaigner of the party, he's been with the party for a few years now. He was given Padma Vibhushan also. And now we have closer pictures of the stage. You can see the BJP leadership there. Suvendu Adhikari comes with tremendous amount of legislative experience, twice a member of Lok Sabha, thrice an MLA,
মিঠুন
of
চক্রবর্তী,
opposition for 5 years.
symbol of
And
energy.
and been councillor 3 times from and then chairman of the Kontai municipality, the Adhikari pocket borough, Adhikari family. And now, of course, turning into a giant killer, defeating Mamata Banerjee in her own bastion of Bhawanipur, apart from winning his own seat of Nandigram. These are pictures from earlier when Prime Minister arrived at the venue, riding a decorated truck, and along with CM designate Suvendu on one side and the BJP President Shamik Bhattacharya on the other. We are going to see oath-taking ceremony of Suvendu Adhikari panning out in a bit. From the time that the ruling slogan in Bengal. Okay, do we go now? Okay, we have Mr. Abhijit Roy joining us on this broadcast. He's MD of Berger Paints, joining us live from Bengal. And Mr. Roy, there was one time when, once upon a time rather, that the ruling slogan in Bengal was Tomar Bari, Amar Bari, Naxal Bari. Now the slogan is Jai Shri Ram, but essentially it is not just a transition to Hindutva politics. It is people of Bengal would expect that this is also a transition to a more industrialized Bengal, more developed Bengal, more progressive Bengal, a Bengal which looks at job creation as not just a capitalist enterprise, but also a welfare enterprise for which the government should be acting as an enabler.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the hope that is there. In fact, the government, of the day, which is now coming in, they have promised three things which are there in their poll manifesto as well. One, of course, is, giving employment to the youth who, in their own words, the large number of these guys have become sort of settlers outside in different cities, abroad as well. And they need to be brought back into West Bengal by creating opportunities in the state. And that's something which we are looking forward to in terms of developmental work happening, industrialization happening at a rapid scale. At the same time, services, sector also looking up in this state. So that's the expectation which is there. A lot of expectation from this new government, as was the change, when the left front went away and the TMC came. There were immense expectations at that point of time. Some of it got delivered, some did not. And in this case, it is even higher. 49 years there was government which was mostly, center and state were different. This time it is the same government, same party government in both the places. The infrastructure development, we are expecting that substantial improvement should happen there, and that's something which we look forward to at this stage.
And what about the culture which acts as an enabler or supportive of enterprise? Do you think that transition would be easy to make, or it's going to be a difficult enterprise altogether to bring in that culture of respecting enterprise, respecting capital, respecting the culture which leads to strengthening of those systems which are pro capital formation, because that's a culture which has been lacking in Bengal.
Yeah, so that is a legacy of the left, which was there, and initially they were very anti-industrialist sort of, and therefore, large number of the enterprises went away from here. They did try to amend it at the fag end of their, stint, but didn't work out. There were a lot of opposition from within, and it didn't work out at that point of time. We expect that such change in attitude of the people have become different, aspirational. They want industrialization. They want their kids to stay in West Bengal. They want the opportunities to open up in this state. So there is a pressure from within, so it will be easier that way. It's the mindset of the bureaucrat and, the politicians which need to change, meeting up these aspirations of the people. I don't think it should be that difficult, given the track record of BJP elsewhere. it should be relatively, they are oriented in this direction. They have this, they have no, thoughts in their head that, industrialization or industrialists are bad. So therefore, I would assume that this movement culturally that you are talking about, this change is already there within. You just have to, enable that, as you rightly said, and that should happen now.
People will talk about rebuilding Bengal, and you need to rebuild Bengal. You need to remake brand Bengal, and once the trade capital of India, a lot of people are now asking questions: how do we rebuild Bengal? Because I remember, videos you can see in the last 10-15 years, or at least the videos that we've been shown of Mamata Banerjee harassing industrialists, Mamata Banerjee making uncomfortable the industrialists who are in the crowd, etc. I don't want to get you drawn into that, but on the question of remaking Bengal, rebuilding Bengal, how do you think that's going to pan out in the next few years and decades, perhaps?
It's got a lot of, resources, natural and otherwise, in terms of intellectual capital that exists here. In terms of natural resources, we have coal, in abundance. We have a fertile land, so agriculturally we are very rich. So food processing can be a big industry. Any coal-based industry can be good. There are, very strong talent available here, talent pool which is good quality and at the same time, relatively less pricey, I would say. And therefore, for IT services, AI, semiconductor, the new industry can do a wonderful job here in West Bengal. If given the opportunity, I think that is something which will open up here. So both of these, and of course, center and state being together, the infrastructure which was being, not being, developed at the pace at which it should, because of the land issues or other issues which kept cropping up, that might go away, or should go away definitely, and we should see an acceleration in the infrastructure development, including a port which is required, the seaport which is a necessity.
Yeah, cutting across live. Abhijit, stay with us. I'm just cutting across live. The Prime Minister there. We have a live commentary. Let's cut across live.
माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी पुष्पांजलि कर रहे हैं এবং সেই সঙ্গে আছেন সিএম ডেজিগনেট শ্রী শুভেন্দু অধিকারী। আজকে মঞ্চে উপস্থিত আছেন মাননীয় রাজ্যপাল শ্রী আরএন রবি। এদের সকলের উপস্থিতিতেই পুষ্পার্ঘ্য প্রদান করা হলো। जोरदार कट्टल ध्वनि के साथ स्वागत कीजिए माननीय प्रधानमंत्री, परम आदरणीय प्रधानमंत्री श्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी का। माननीय राज्यपाल उपस्थित आছেন श्री आरएन रवि, उपस्थित आছেন माननीय सीएम डेजिगनेट श्री शुभेंदु अधिकारी। আমাদের মধ্যে উপস্থিত আছেন শ্রী শ্রমিক ভট্টাচার্য মহাশয়। আমি তাকে অনুরোধ জানাবো আজকে শ্রী মাখনলাল সরকার সম্পর্কে তিনি আমাদের বলবেন।
শিলিগুড়ি নিবাসী শ্রী মাখনলাল সরকার সবরই প্রতীক্ষার মতো দীর্ঘ প্রতীক্ষা। ভারত কেশরী ডক্টর শ্যামাপ্রসাদ মুখার্জি, যিনি ভারতের সংবিধান এবং ভারতবর্ষের অখণ্ডতার জন্য এই বাংলায় জন্মগ্রহণ করে নিজের প্রাণ দিয়েছিলেন, যাকে কাশ্মীরের জেলে রহস্যজনকভাবে কার্যত খুন করা হয়েছিল, এবং তার সেই যাত্রার যিনি সহযোগী ছিলেন, সেই মাখনলাল সরকার ৯৭ বছর বয়স হয়েছে তার, তিনিও আজকের দিনে আমাদের এখানে এসে উপস্থিত হয়েছেন। শ্রী মাখনলাল সরকার তারপরে দিল্লিতে একটি দেশাত্মবোধক গান গাওয়ার জন্য দিল্লি পুলিশ তাকে গ্রেপ্তার করে। কংগ্রেসের সরকার নিয়ে যাওয়া হয় বিচারালয়ে। বিচারপতি বলেন তার উকিলের পরামর্শে যে ক্ষমা চান আপনার মুক্তি দেব, কিন্তু মাখনলাল সরকার বলেছিলেন আমি কোনো অপরাধ করিনি, সুতরাং আমি একটা গান গেয়েছি। বিচারপতি বলেন তাহলে আপনি গানটা গেয়ে শোনান। সেদিনের অপ্রাপ্তবয়স্ক মাখনলাল সরকার সেই গানটি গেয়ে শোনান এবং তারপর বিচারপতি নির্দেশ দেয় দিল্লি পুলিশকে যে একে ফার্স্ট ক্লাস কামরা করে এর বাড়ি পর্যন্ত পৌঁছে দাও এবং 100 টাকা দাও রাস্তায় যাতায়াতের জন্য। আজকে সেই মাখনলাল সরকার আমাদের মধ্যে আছেন, প্রধানমন্ত্রী তাকে সম্বোধন করবেন। माखनलाल सरकार जो श्यामा प्रसाद मुखर्जी की अंतिम यात्रा का उसका साथी रहे हैं, आज हमारा मंच पे उपस्थित है। हमारा बुजुर्ग जो जीवन में किसी का सामने सर नहीं झुकाया और ऐसे हजारों कार्यकर्ता का बलिदान और प्रतीक्षा का कारण आज इस पार्टी सत्ता में आए हैं। यह सिर्फ कोई सत्ता की परिवर्तन नहीं है, श्यामा प्रसाद मुखर्जी की धरती पर श्यामा प्रसाद का सरकार बनने जा रहे हैं। कश्मीर से कन्याकुमारी जैसा हमारा सपना है, वैसे ही गंगोत्री से गंगा सागर तक डबल इंजन सरकार भारत हमारा सरकार श्यामा प्रसाद मुखर्जी की सरकार आज बन रहे हैं। ऐसी कितना माखनलाल सरकार ने अपने पूरा जीवन निछावर कर दिया, जिसका नाम जिसका पता किसी भी संवाद की सुर्खियों में नहीं है, किसी टेलीविजन चैनल में नहीं है, जिसका जीवन संघर्ष करते करते चले गए। आज वही माखनलाल सरकार हमारा बीच में उपस्थित है। प्रधानमंत्री जी भी उसको अभिनंदन करेंगे थोड़ी ही बाद में।
মাননীয় প্রধানমন্ত্রী শ্রী নরেন্দ্র মোদীজি, সেই সঙ্গে আছেন মাননীয় গৃহমন্ত্রী শ্রী অমিত শাহজি, আমাদের মধ্যে উপস্থিত আছেন মাননীয় রক্ষামন্ত্রী শ্রী রাজনাথ সিংজি এবং বহু রাজ্য থেকে বিশিষ্ট মানুষজন আজকে এখানে এসে উপস্থিত হয়েছেন। এবং আজকের এই অনুষ্ঠানে আপনারা তো সকলেই জানেন যে আজকে আমরা মাননীয় প্রধানমন্ত্রীরই এই বলা যেতে পারে পরামর্শ ছিল যে আজকের দিনটিকেই আমরা বেছে নিই 25শে বৈশাখ। কেননা 25শে বৈশাখ বাঙালির জীবনের সঙ্গে ওতপ্রোতভাবে জড়িত। রবীন্দ্রনাথ ঠাকুর, যাকে আমরা সুখে দুঃখে আনন্দে বিষাদে, যাকে আমরা নানান অনুভূতিতে, যাকে আমরা নানান অভিমানে, যাকে আমরা কখনো সুখে কখনো অসুখে তাকে একান্ত আপন করে নিয়েছি, সেই দিনটি আমাদের বারবার প্রথিত করে, আমাদের সংস্কৃতির সঙ্গে আমাদের এগিয়ে চলার পথের দিশা দেখায়। এবং এই দিনটিকে ওপরে আমাদের নির্ভরশীলতা, তার কোনো তুলনা হয় না। এই দিনেই বাংলার অপর এক ইতিহাস সৃষ্টি হবে, এটা সত্যি আমাদের কখনো আমরা কল্পনাও করিনি। কিন্তু মাননীয় প্রধানমন্ত্রী তার অদ্ভুত বিচক্ষণতার মাধ্যমে তিনি আজকের এই দিনটিকে এত সুন্দরভাবে, এত প্রাসঙ্গিকভাবে তিনি যুক্ত করলেন আমাদের বিধানসভার শপথ গ্রহণ অনুষ্ঠানের বা শপথ গ্রহণ সমারোহের সঙ্গে, যে সত্যি সেটা আমাদের কাছে একটি বিশেষ পাওয়ার দিন হয়ে উঠল। এখন থেকে 25শে বৈশাখে যেন যুক্ত হলো আরও এক পরব, 25শে বৈশাখ শুধুমাত্র আমাদের জীবন দর্শন, আমাদের সংস্কৃতির ধারা, আমাদের চড়ুইবেতির নিশানা হয়ে থাকলো না, সেই সঙ্গে রাজনৈতিকভাবে আমরা কতটা অগ্রসর হতে পারি তারও একটি সূচক দিন হিসেবে চিহ্নিত হয়ে থাকলো। 25শে বৈশাখের এই দিনে আপনারা সকলে এসেছেন। আজকে আমরা রবীন্দ্রনাথকে এইভাবে শ্রদ্ধা জানাচ্ছি। আজকের এই দিনটিকে আমরা সফল করে তুলছি। এটি সত্যি আমাদের সকলের কাছে একটি মনে রাখার মতো ঘটনা। Ladies and gentlemen, what a wonderful coincidence, or let's say, what a wonderful coordination has been achieved when the most honorable Prime Minister had suggested that we choose 25শে বৈশাখ, the birthday of Gurudev Rabindranath Tagore, for the swearing-in ceremony. There was a wonderful conjunction. On the one hand, Rabindranath not only gives us a direction in life, in all kinds of going forward, and with that is now added something of political significance, a political revival, a political energy that would once again make West Bengal so very relevant, so very frontline in our country. Today, the swearing-in ceremony is a symbol, and 25শে বৈশাখ is of course another symbol, and the two symbols have come together to create a metaphor which is extraordinary. Meanwhile, we find people joining us on the dais. আমাদের আজকের এই অনুষ্ঠানে বিশিষ্ট অতিথিরা ক্রমশ এসে উপস্থিত হচ্ছেন এই মঞ্চে, এবং আর অল্প কিছুক্ষণের মধ্যেই আমরা শুরু করতে চলেছি আমাদের আজকের এই শপথ গ্রহণ অনুষ্ঠান।
Rakshita, the live pictures coming in from the Brigade ground, the historic Brigade ground in Kolkata, where the Prime Minister is on stage, and we are waiting for the moment when Suvendu Adhikari. In fact, on that stage, there are two people clad in saffron. One is Yogi, and the other Suvendu Adhikari. I think Ratan Charda is with us, Rakshita. I think we can go across to Ratan Charda until the swearing-in ceremony kicks off.
আমি জানাতে ইচ্ছে করছে যে আজকে আপনারা দেখছেন যে মানুষের ঢল নেমেছে, মানুষের মেলা বসেছে।
All right, we have Ratan Charda with us. Wow, thank you.
Okay, so we'll go across to Ratan Charda. Ratan Charda, I mean, while you look at these pictures, I just want to get your thoughts as we cut across and officially, the Suvendu era begins in Bengal. How do you see the next 5 years pan out?
Well, next 5 years is going to be very hectic because the expectations have gone sky high. From the bottom of the heap, Bengal wants to reach the apex or apogee of the Renaissance Bharat, which it was earlier on. And it doesn't lack talent, it lacked governance. I think that is what Suvendu has to give policy direction, be very firm in implementation. It's not going to be easy 5 years, but it is going to be necessary to really make Bharat what it could be, because Bengal was once, it was said that what happens in Bengal is goes across Bharat. So that scene has to come back again. And what does it lack? There is no dearth of natural resources, no dearth of intellectual prowess. You have best possible scientists, best possible intellectuals, best possible business and manufacturing facilities at one time. We had path-breaking scientists like J.C. Bose, P.C. Ray, S.N. Bose, you had Meghnad Saha, you had great economists, and you had great industries there. So all we just have to remind what Bengal was, and Bengal is itching to go back to its glory. I think that is what is most difficult task for Suvendu Adhikari. First of all, improve land order immediately, improve infrastructure so people can move around, not stuck in any place where you take 6 hours for a normal journey, which takes 2 hours anywhere else. All this is going to change. It's going to be very, very eventful 5 years. And I think those 5 years will turn into 15 years if the delivery is done well. I see no reason why it cannot be done, because the starting point is so low. The condition of Bengal is now so pathetic that any work will immediately change the scenario. And that is why I expect in coming months and years that once the mood turns positive, it will be kind of ghar wapsi for Bengalis. Bengalis who have populated and who have given lead to communities all over India and who have been successful everywhere, who had to leave Bengal to use their talent, whether they came to Mumbai or they went to US, they have a huge talent. So those people have to come back when they feel confident. It's worth going back to Bengal and do something. I think we will see a lot of ghar wapsi in Bengal also, a lot of industries, a lot of intellectual leaders, a lot of economists and very scientists will go back. And
that's very important, Mr. Sharda. I'll put that point across to Mr. Abhijit Roy, who's the MD and CEO of Berger Paints. He is with us. As Mr. Sharda was talking about, the ghar wapsi factor. How do you bring back, workers? You bring back investment, bringing back people. Creating those opportunities. In your understanding, Mr. Roy, what steps could be taken? What measures need to be taken by the Suvendu Adhikari government now in West Bengal?
So, as he rightly said, this is the expectation that is there. So, first of all, the rule of law has to come into existence in West Bengal in a very strictly enforced without party affiliation. That has been a sort of a problem here, right from the left government onwards. And therefore, that is the first step which will give confidence to the people that investments made in this state, are in safe hands. The second is in terms of the infrastructure development which has to happen. As he was mentioning, there are certain bottlenecks there and which needs to be removed. And once that is done, I think, it will look up. Third, there is, as we know, that there are 5 Nobel Prize winners from this state. There is no other state possibly which has this, and there are no dearth of intellectual ability here. It is just the environment has to be created for entrepreneurship to prosper here, and that is something which one would look forward to in terms of the environment. Maybe some big ticket investments initially, once they know that, this government is industry friendly, there will be attractive, attraction for the industries. There is one, missing link here, in terms of the fiscal incentives, which this, there is nothing like that in this state, whereas all other states around give this, so there is an lack of industrial policy along with fiscal incentive, which needs to be brought in immediately, possibly. There, of course, there is a constraint in terms of the financial ability of the state, but, the state will have to look at, how to increase revenue and also at the same time look for giving this, having this industrial policy with fiscal incentives there. Because all states surrounding it, if they give that, and if you are an island which is not giving that, then obviously, it's not attractive enough for investment to happen. So attraction of investment will follow. There is a huge market in West Bengal available. It's a large consumption category market here. And therefore, when you combine that with the right impetus from the government, I'm sure that, there will be a lot of industries who would be looking forward to investment in the state. And that will, encourage the youngsters to stay here. Some may also come back. But more importantly, at least the flight of talent from here should stop.
Many thanks, Mr. Chada and Mr. Roy, for joining us on the broadcast. Viewers, as we get shots in the run-up to the oath-taking ceremony, we are bringing this visual that is actually very heart-touching. You can see this visual is one of the most senior workers of the BJP in West Bengal, Mr. Makhanlal Sarkar. And he's 98, the first one who he felicitated, you can see with that shawl. The Prime Minister is sharing a very, very emotional moment, a very warm hug there. Early grassroots figures, you can understand he has been associated with the nationalist movement post-independence India. And he has been closely working with Shama Prasad Mukherjee. In 1952, he was even arrested in Kashmir while he was accompanying Mukherjee during the movement to hoist the Indian tricolour there. And from that moment, from those years, from that era to this one, it will be, he has seen it all, Mr. Makhanlal Sarkar. He has seen this revolution, he's seen this change, the Paribartan over decades after after independence. And as we speak, viewers, we understand that our viewers, you can see that, Niranjan, if you could take us to the numbers, so whopping...
live number, by the way, that's a live number of viewers tuning into this historic moment in India. It's not just a historic moment in Bengal, but it's a historic moment in India. Over 1.5 lakh people watching the Republic live stream right now. That's 1.5 lakh people who are joining us in this broadcast. Remember that in Bengal, Rakshita, no other channel has faced what our network has under Republic Bangla. Our network was targeted. Our network was attacked. Our network was singled out because we just showed the mirror to Mamata Banerjee every single day. And she would file FIRs not just against our editor-in-chief, but against reporters, against anchors. Many of our journalists have been arrested in Bengal. They were arrested for the coverage of all the corruption, all the scandals, Sandesh Kali, RG Kar, the list never ended. And Mamata Banerjee hated Republic Bangla so much that, rather loved Republic Bangla so much that she would mention our Bangla, our Bangla, our Bangla. Our network, obsessed. It was like a nightmare to her. It was a nightmare. And eventually, they say that dictators fall. Mamata Banerjee's rule is ended. I'm not calling her a dictator. I just meant that her government has fallen. Ratan Chadha has fallen. Ratan Chadha is live with us. Ratan Chadha ji, waiting for, the oath to be administered to Suvendu Adhikari. But I think for the BJP, it must be a mixed feeling today. I remember in the last elections of 2021, we were all camping in Kolkata at that time. Ratan Chadha ji, I'll tell you a story because you know the story very well. Around the time when Republic Bangla was launched was around the time when the Uddhav Thackeray government was here in Maharashtra. And they were hounding us and we were on the run. We were all over the place. And we went to Bangla instead, to Bengal instead at that point, and we launched a channel there. And I still remember the pictures of before and after the elections. BJP leaders being hung on trees, BJP leaders' homes being marked out, BJP leaders hacked to death, some of them even beheaded in Bengal. And you contrast those pictures to what you're seeing on stage today. I think for the BJP, that is why this moment is special. It's also about all the sacrifices they've made. They've been attacked, they've been hounded, intimidated.
Niranjan, I can't forget the day I was in Republic Studios and I could see the start of violence as soon as the results started coming in, I think around 4 p.m. And we fought over it and we were very worried. And in fact, I was one of the few who actually criticized BJP government for kind of abandoning the workers because at that time the leaders who were sent to Bengal simply vanished. And some left, some changed parties. and the workers were left on their own. From that change to how Amit Shah ji and the other organization has finally taken over. See, biggest difference in BJP and any other party is
May I now request the Chief Secretary to take over the proceedings.
Namaskar. I request the permission of the Honorable Governor to commence the proceedings. With your permission, sir, I may now read the order of appointment of the Honorable Chief Minister. The order reads, the Governor of West Bengal order, in exercise of the power conferred on me by Article 164(1) of the Constitution of India, I, R.N. Ravi, Governor of West Bengal, hereby appoint Shri Suvendu Adhikari as Chief Minister of the State of West Bengal, signed by Shri R.N. Ravi, Governor of West Bengal, on 8th May 2026. May I now request Shri Suvendu Adhikari, Honorable Chief Minister Designate, to take oath before the Honorable Governor.
আমি শুভেন্দু অধিকারী ঈশ্বরের নামে শপথ করিতেছি যে বিধি দ্বারা স্থাপিত ভারতের সংবিধানের প্রতি আমি অকৃত্রিম নিষ্ঠা ও আনুগত্য পোষণ করিব। আমি ভারতের সার্বভৌমত্ব ও অখণ্ডতা রক্ষা করিব। পশ্চিমবঙ্গ রাজ্যের মুখ্যমন্ত্রী রূপে আমার কর্তব্যসমূহ নিষ্ঠাপূর্বক এবং বিবেকসম্মতভাবে নির্বাহ করিব এবং ভয় বা পক্ষপাত, প্রীতি বা বিদ্বেষ রহিত হইয়া সকল শ্রেণীর জনগণের প্রতি সংবিধান ও বিধি অনুসারে ন্যায় আচরণ করিব।
আমি
আমি শুভেন্দু অধিকারী ঈশ্বরের নামে শপথ করিতেছি যে পশ্চিমবঙ্গ রাজ্যের মুখ্যমন্ত্রী রূপে যে কোনো বিষয় যাহা আমার বিবেচনার জন্য আনিত হইবে বা আমি জ্ঞাত হইব, তাহা মুখ্যমন্ত্রী রূপে আমার কর্তব্যসমূহের যথাযথ নির্বাহের জন্য যেরূপ আবশ্যক হইতে পারে তদ্গতিকে আমি প্রত্যক্ষ বা পরোক্ষভাবে কোনো ব্যক্তি বা ব্যক্তিগণের নিকট জ্ঞাপন করিব না বা প্রকাশ করিব না।
With your permission, sir, I now read out the order of appointment of all the honorable ministers. The order of Governor of West Bengal in exercise of the power conferred on me by Article 164(1) of the Constitution of India, I, Shri R.N. Ravi, Governor of West Bengal, on the advice of Shri Suvendu Adhikari, Chief Minister of West Bengal, hereby appoint the following persons in the Council of Ministers for the state of West Bengal: Shri Dilip Ghosh, Shrimati Agnimitra Paul, Shri Ashok Kirtinia, Shri Khudiram Tudu, and Shri Nishit Pramanik. May I now request Shri Dilip Ghosh, Honorable Minister Designate, to write and take oaths before the Honorable Governor.
আমি ঈশ্বরের নামে শপথ করিতেছি যে বিধি দ্বারা স্থাপিত ভারতের সংবিধানের প্রতি আমি অকৃত্রিম নিষ্ঠা ও আনুগত্য পোষণ করিব। আমি ভারতের সার্বভৌমত্ব ও অখণ্ডতা রক্ষা করিব। পশ্চিমবঙ্গ রাজ্যের মন্ত্রীরূপে আমার কর্তব্যসমূহ নিষ্ঠাপূর্বক এবং বিবেকসম্মতভাবে নির্বাহ করিব এবং ভয় বা পক্ষপাত প্রীতি বা বিদ্বেষ রহিত হইয়া সকল শ্রেণীর জনগণের প্রতি সংবিধান ও বিধি অনুসারে ন্যায়াচরণ করিব। আমি শ্রী দিলীপ কুমার ঘোষ ঈশ্বরের নামে শপথ করিতেছি যে পশ্চিমবঙ্গ রাজ্যের মন্ত্রীরূপে যে কোনো বিষয় যাহা আমার বিবেচনার জন্য আনিত হইবে বা আমি জ্ঞাত হইব, তাহা ওই মন্ত্রীরূপে আমার কর্তব্যসমূহের যথাযথ নির্বাহের জন্য যেরূপ আবশ্যক হইতে পারে তদ্ব্যতিরেকে আমি প্রত্যক্ষ বা পরোক্ষভাবে কোনো ব্যক্তি বা ব্যক্তিগণের নিকট জ্ঞাপন করিব না বা প্রকাশ করিব না।
बोल दे उसका। Announce second. May I now request Shrimati Agnimitra Paul, Honorable Minister Designate, to rise and take oath before the Honorable Governor.
One by one. This is first, this is second.
আমি শ্রীমতী অগ্নিমিত্রা পাল ঈশ্বরের নামে শপথ করিতেছি যে পশ্চিমবঙ্গ রাজ্যের মন্ত্রী রূপে যে কোনো বিষয় যাহা আমার বিবেচনার জন্য আনিত হইবে বা আমি জ্ঞাত হইব, তাহা ওই মন্ত্রী রূপে আমার কর্তব্যসমূহের যথাযথ নির্বাহের জন্য যেরূপ আবশ্যক হইতে পারে তদ্ব্যতিরিকে আমি প্রত্যক্ষ বা পরোক্ষভাবে কোনো ব্যক্তি বা ব্যক্তিগণের নিকট জ্ঞাপন করিব না বা প্রকাশ করিব না। আমি শ্রীমতী অগ্নিমিত্রা পাল ঈশ্বরের নামে শপথ করিতেছি যে বিধি দ্বারা স্থাপিত ভারতের সংবিধানের প্রতি আমি অকৃত্রিম নিষ্ঠা ও আনুগত্য পোষণ করিব। আমি ভারতের সার্বভৌমত্ব ও অখণ্ডতা রক্ষা করিব। পশ্চিমবঙ্গ রাজ্যের মন্ত্রী রূপে আমার কর্তব্যসমূহ নিষ্ঠাপূর্বক এবং